She bought an old spaceship for 50 credits. The alien owner's return shocked her. Lyra wiped the sweat from her brow as she adjusted the small toolbox strapped to her shoulder. The spaceport was as busy as always, a maze of metal walkways, blinking lights, and the low hum of starships coming and going. She loved the chaos, even if it sometimes left her pockets empty. Today was one of those days. Her credits were low, her stomach growled, and the only job she had lined up was helping a merchant repair a busted grab bot. But Lyra had an eye for opportunity. She was always scanning the crowded spaceport for something others overlooked. That's when she spotted it. It was tucked behind a row of cargo crates, a small spaceship that looked like it hadn't flown in decades. Its paint was chipped, the hull covered in scratches, and a tiny antenna hung at a crooked angle. Most people walked past it, not even glancing. But Lyra's heart skipped a beat. This ship, she whispered to herself. It's cheap, and it looks fun. The auctioneer, a rotund man with a digital eye implant, noticed her interest. Ah, that old thing, he said, laughing. Huh, no one wants it, Been sitting here for months. Who knows if it even flies? Lyra smiled. How much? 50 credits. The auctioneer raised an eyebrow. I warn you, kid, it's a fixer-upper. You buy it, it's yours. But don't be surprised if the real owner comes back looking for it. He chuckled and walked away, leaving Lyra staring at the ship. 50 credits. That was all she had in her account. Her first instinct was caution. But then she looked at the ship's lines, worn but elegant, and she imagined herself inside, hands on the controls, exploring distant stars. Her heartbeat quickened. 50 credits, she muttered again. Then, almost without thinking, she handed over her last coins. The auctioneer stamped a digital receipt, and the ship was officially hers. Lyra grinned. Well, here goes nothing. The first thing she noticed when she stepped inside was the smell. Old metal, burnt circuits, and a faint hint of something sweet and alien. The cabin was tight, just enough room for one pilot, but cozy in a strange way. Buttons and levers covered the dashboard, and a small screen flickered with static. She ran her fingers over the controls, marveling at how different it felt from any human ship she had worked on. There was a rhythm here, something almost alive. A small panel blinked unexpectedly, as if reacting to her touch. Lyra leaned closer. Okay, that's weird, she said. The screen flickered again, and suddenly she saw something strange. A diagram appeared, unlike any star map she had ever seen. Lines and dots connected in complex patterns, forming shapes that seemed almost alive. Lyra frowned. This isn't human tech, and it wasn't. She spent hours exploring the ship that day. Every corner she opened revealed something new. Compartments filled with devices that hummed faintly, tools that reshaped themselves to her hands, and circuits that seemed to adapt as she studied them. The ship was old, yes, but it was also intelligent in a way she had never seen. By nightfall, Lyra had her sleeping mat set up in the pilot's seat. She had nowhere else to go, and the ship seemed to accept her as its temporary occupant. She stared at the blinking lights of the dashboard, imagining the worlds this ship might have visited. You're going to be amazing, she whispered to the ship. I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. The next morning, she went to the market to buy supplies. She moved quickly, careful not to spend too much of her precious credits. Rations, water, basic repair tools. Enough to get her started. By the time she returned, a small crowd had gathered around the ship. Wow, is that yours? One boy asked. His eyes were wide with wonder. Lyra nodded proudly. Just bought it. Didn't anyone tell you the original owner might come back? Another voice said, a woman with a thick scarf and bright, curious eyes. Lyra laughed. Yeah, I heard the rumor. Probably just a story to scare people away. I doubt anyone will show up. Still, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching her as she climbed back into the cockpit. She shook her head. Paranoia. That's all it was. For the next few days, Lyra worked on the ship. She cleaned the engine room, patched up the hull, and tested basic systems. The ship responded to her touch in ways that felt almost human. The controls seemed to anticipate her movements, adjusting themselves to make her work easier. Sometimes when she paused to breathe, a screen would flicker with strange symbols, almost like the ship was trying to communicate. One afternoon, as she sat in the pilot's seat studying a blinking panel, she finally understood part of it. The ship had a map of star systems far beyond human charts. Some of these systems had no names, and some appeared to be hidden behind strange energy fields. The ship was showing her places humans had never reached. Lyra's eyes widened. This is incredible. She made a decision. If she could figure out how to unlock the ship's full potential, she wouldn't just explore nearby planets. She could go farther than any human had before. Then, one evening, the ship did something unexpected. Lyra was running diagnostics when the lights dimmed slightly and the engine room hummed with energy. The ship tilted gently, not moving through space, but responding as if it were alive. "What are you doing?" Lyra asked. The ship's screen blinked rapidly, then displayed a single message in strange, glowing symbols. Lyra's mind raced. She didn't understand the language, but somehow she felt a connection, as if the message was meant for her. A chill ran down her spine. She shook her head. "Relax. You're probably just reacting to my touch." But she couldn't ignore the feeling that the ship was more than a machine. Something about it was intelligent, aware, maybe even sentient. The next morning, the auctioneer passed by. He stopped when he saw Lyra in the cockpit. "You really bought it?" he said, raising an eyebrow. 50 credits. That ship could be trouble. Remember what I said about the original owner?" Lyra smiled. "I remember. But if he comes back, I'll just tell him I bought it fair and square." The auctioneer chuckled. "Fair enough, kid. Just don't be surprised if the ship surprises you first." Lyra didn't answer. She was already imagining the adventures ahead. Stars she had only dreamed of, planets no human had set foot on, and a ship that might be alive in ways she could barely understand. That night, as Lyra lay on her sleeping mat, she stared at the ceiling of the cockpit. The ship's systems hummed softly, almost like a heartbeat. She had never felt this alive, this excited, in all her years working on old machinery and tiny graphbots. And then, just as she was drifting to sleep, the lights flickered one last time, and a soft melodic vibration echoed through the hull. The ship was awake. Lyra's eyes snapped open. She sat up and pressed her hand to the dashboard. The screen glowed gently, and the symbols appeared again. This time, she felt something different, an almost playful curiosity, as if the ship was introducing itself. A shiver ran down her spine. She realized one thing. This was no ordinary ship, and whoever had built it or owned it was coming back sooner or later. Lyra woke to the gentle hum of the ship's engines. The soft vibration ran through the floor, through her bones, and into her chest. The glow of the dashboard lights reflected in her wide eyes. Something had changed overnight. The ship no longer felt like a simple machine. It felt alert, aware. She had learned to communicate with it in small ways. A touch here, a tap there, and the ship responded almost like it understood her thoughts. But this morning, the ship went beyond simple responses. A series of patterns blinked on the main screen. A route through the stars she had never seen, through constellations that didn't exist on any human chart. This is impossible," she whispered, leaning closer. She traced the lines with her finger. "Where are you taking me?" The ship hummed softly. As if it was pleased, she asked. Lyra couldn't help but smile. She had only begun to understand it, but already it had opened a door to something extraordinary. Later that day, she decided to test the engines. The old ship creaked and groaned, but it moved surprisingly well. Lyra's hands flew over the controls, adjusting, guiding, feeling the rhythm of the vessel. She had never flown anything like it. The ship responded to her instinctively, as if it trusted her. And then she saw a flash in the sky. A ship, sleek, shimmering, unlike anything human. It moved with perfect precision, and yet it hovered, watching. Lyra froze, her heart hammered in her chest. "Who are you?" she whispered. The other ship emitted a soft pulsing glow. The color shifted from green to blue to silver. And a voice, not in words, but in her mind, spoke clearly. "Lyra, step away from the ship." Her eyes widened. The voice was calm, deep, and intelligent. She jumped back from the controls.
Who's there? I am Zyrax. You have my ship."
Lyra's mind raced. The auctioneer's warning. The rumor of the original owner. It wasn't a joke. It was true. And now the alien had come all the way here to reclaim what was theirs. She swallowed hard. "I bought it. I paid 50 credits. Ownership by transaction is not your law. Ownership by bond is. The bond is mine. Yet, you have awakened it." Lyra frowned. "Awakened it?" "Yes. You have touched it in ways no human has. The ship is alive. It learns. It responds to you. It has changed." Lyra's stomach twisted with a mix of fear and excitement. "Changed? What do you mean?" "It has potential you cannot imagine. It has memory I cannot access fully. But you have begun to unlock it." The calm voice of Zyrax filled her mind, but it was not threatening. There was curiosity, almost admiration. Lyra realized the alien did not seem angry, just concerned. She took a deep breath.
"Look, I don't want trouble. I'm not trying to steal it."
"I just wanted to fix it up, learn how it works. And so you have. I have observed your actions. The bond you share with this vessel is unusual. I wish to understand."
Understand? Yes. Come closer.
"Let us see if we can work together." Her hands trembled as she guided the ship closer to the other vessel. The alien ship matched every movement with grace, almost like a dance. Then, as if sensing her hesitation, the alien projected an image into her mind, a memory of the ship's history. The ship had been built centuries ago, long before human engineers dreamed of star travel. It had been Zyrax's companion, his creation, his partner in exploration. It had traveled to uncharted galaxies, mapping stars, discovering new life. And somewhere along the way, it had been abandoned, or perhaps left behind, on the human spaceport planet. Lyra's mouth went dry. "So you're saying this ship has been exploring for centuries?" "Yes, and it has chosen to respond to you. That is why I have returned. I did not expect a human to awaken it fully." Lyra felt a rush of pride mixed with awe. She had only meant to repair the ship, maybe test the engines. She had never imagined that she was touching something so ancient, so intelligent, so alive. Zyrax's voice continued in her mind. "It has abilities even I have not fully accessed. Your species, your creativity, has unlocked pathways it has never followed." Lyra swallowed hard. "Abilities? What kind of abilities?" "It can travel through hidden wormholes, access energy fields beyond normal reach, communicate across galaxies, and create environments conducive to life. These abilities are dormant for most users." "You have woken them." Lyra's eyes widened. "You're saying I could actually go to places no human has ever gone?"
Yes, but it requires cooperation.
"It requires understanding. Will you learn from me, Lyra?" She hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Yes, I want to learn." Then we began. Over the next few days, Lyra and Zyrax worked together. At first, communication was strange. Zyrax did not speak aloud. He projected thoughts and memories directly into her mind. Lyra struggled to follow at first, but she adapted quickly, guiding him as much as he guided her. The ship responded beautifully to both of them. It hummed, glowed, and shifted in ways Lyra could not have imagined. Every time she touched a lever or tapped a screen, the ship reacted as if acknowledging her skill. And Zyrax, for all his intelligence, often relied on her quick thinking, her human improvisation. "Humans think differently," he said one day, projecting a thought. "Your species adapts. You improvise. You create solutions where none seem possible." Lyra smiled. That's because sometimes we have no choice. We survive by thinking fast. Zyrax paused. Indeed. And yet it is remarkable to see this applied to a vessel like this. You have improved it. One afternoon, while testing the ship in the outer sector of the spaceport, Lyra discovered a hidden compartment. It had been sealed for centuries, almost invisible. Inside were strange crystals, glowing faintly, pulsing with energy. Zyrax projected his astonishment. How? You found that? Humans do not usually see what is hidden. You have vision. Lyra laughed. I just looked closely, that's all. But Zyrax was silent after that, studying her with what she could only describe as alien curiosity. The ship's lights dimmed as it seemed to react to the discovery. It was as if it too approved of her actions. Together they experimented with the crystals. Zyrax demonstrated their energy properties, while Lyra tested their limits. The ship's systems absorbed the crystals, unlocking new features, enhanced navigation, faster propulsion, and a strange communication network she could barely understand. Lyra realized something incredible. This ship could change the future. With it, humans could reach distant galaxies, contact civilizations never known, and perhaps even help other planets thrive. That night, Lyra lay in the cockpit, staring at the stars. Zyrax's presence filled the cabin, not physically, but in her mind. She felt no fear, only wonder. Do you understand, Lyra? Zyrax's thought echoed softly. You are part of this now. Not just an owner, but a partner. Your species may be key to what this ship can achieve. Lyra felt a lump in her throat. She had always dreamed of adventure, of exploring beyond the planets she knew. But she had never imagined this. To be chosen by a ship, by an alien, is beyond anything she had hoped for.
I understand, she whispered, and I won't let you down. Good.
Then rest. Tomorrow, we unlock more. Tomorrow, we begin what no human or Zyrax has done before. Lyra closed her eyes, feeling the soft hum of the ship beneath her. She thought of the 50 credits she had spent, a tiny sum for a lifetime of adventure. She thought of the alien who had come so far just to reclaim his ship. And she thought of herself, a human, small and ordinary in the vast universe, yet somehow chosen. And in that moment, she realized the truth. This ship and the adventures ahead were bigger than either of them. But together, they could change the galaxy. Lyra could barely sleep that night. The hum of the ship was like a heartbeat beneath her, steady and alive. Zyrax's presence lingered in her mind, not intrusive, but constant, like a faint echo reminding her that nothing in her life would ever be ordinary again. By morning, she was already back at the controls, checking the dashboard, running diagnostics, and mapping out the stars. Zyrax watched silently, projecting calm thoughts into her mind. You move quickly, he said. Humans have curiosity. But patience is also needed. Lyra smiled, her fingers dancing over the controls. Curiosity keeps us alive. And impatience, well, it keeps life interesting. Zyrax did not respond in words. He simply observed, though Lyra could feel his quiet approval. Their first mission together was simple in theory. Test the ship's hidden engines, the ones powered by the strange crystals she had discovered. But as they prepared for the jump, Lyra realized how much she had already learned. She knew the ship's hums and flickers, the way it shifted with her touch, and how it responded to Zyrax's alien commands. Ready? She asked. Ready, Zyrax projected. Lyra pushed the throttle forward. The ship groaned as energy surged through its circuits. The lights along the hull shimmered, responding to the crystal's energy. And then, in a flash, the stars themselves blurred and stretched. Lyra gripped the controls, her stomach twisting with both fear and exhilaration. The ship wasn't just moving. It was bending space itself, slipping through a hidden wormhole that only it could access. She felt Zyrax's presence beside her, guiding her, steadying her mind. Focus on the hum, he advised. The ship listens more to intent than to hands. Lyra closed her eyes for a moment and let her mind match the rhythm of the ship. She felt it sway, pulse, and breathe. And then, as quickly as it had started, the motion stopped. She opened her eyes. Outside the cockpit, stars shone brighter, colors vivid and unfamiliar. They were somewhere entirely new. "This is incredible," Lyra breathed. "I've never seen anything like this." "Few have," Cyrax projected. "Even my people did not explore this system. Only the ship knows it fully. And now you too." Lyra felt a thrill. She had always dreamed of space travel, but this was beyond imagination. She was standing at the edge of the unknown with an alien companion she barely understood and a ship that was alive. Together, they began to explore the system. The ship's sensors revealed planets hidden behind energy fields, moons with breathable atmospheres, and asteroids that glowed with strange minerals. Cyrax guided her to a small forested planet untouched by any civilization. "Let's land," Lyra said. Her hands moved with precision, as if they had been born to pilot this ship. The landing was smoother than she expected, the ship adjusting in real time, anticipating her every move. On the planet, they explored together. Lyra ran her hands along the soft, moss-covered rocks. Birds, or creatures similar to birds, sang in the alien air. Colors swirled in the sky she had never seen before, reflecting off the crystalline mountains in the distance. Cyrax studied everything silently, observing how Lyra interacted with the environment.
Your perception is different, he said.
You notice patterns, connections. Humans see possibilities where my people see only rules. Lyra laughed. I guess we're good at improvising. Good. We will need that. She didn't yet know what he meant. But she trusted him, and the ship which hummed approvingly, as if agreeing with every word. The next day, Cyrax introduced her to something extraordinary. A network of crystals lay beneath the planet's surface, forming a lattice that pulsed with energy. This network can power worlds, he projected. It can heal ecosystems, sustain life, even control weather patterns. Few species know how to access it. Lyra knelt beside one of the crystals. She felt a soft vibration through her fingertips. It was alive, responsive, almost like it was testing her. How do we use it? She asked. Through thought and intent, Cyrax explained. The ship can link to the network. You and I can guide it. Together we can activate what no one else has ever accessed. Lyra took a deep breath. She focused, letting her mind sync with the ship's hum and the crystal's pulse. The lattice shimmered, energy flowing through it, lighting up like a web of stars. She gasped as the ground beneath her glowed in beautiful patterns, almost like a living map. Cyrax projected admiration. You are remarkable. Humans are adaptable. You do not follow instructions, you create solutions. Lyra felt a surge of pride. For so long she had struggled to survive on the spaceport, fixing small machines, scraping together credits. And now she was unlocking technology that even Cyrax, an alien who had built and cared for this ship, had never fully accessed. Days passed in a whirlwind of discovery. They traveled to hidden planets, each more stunning than the last. Some had floating oceans, others had forests that glowed at night. Everywhere they went, the ship adapted, learned, and responded. Lyra taught Cyrax how humans improvise. She would try unexpected maneuvers, test systems in ways he never imagined. And he, in turn, taught her how to connect with the ship's memory, to unlock the hidden potential of its alien systems. Together, they began to uncover the ship's true abilities. It could manipulate gravitational fields to create safe passages through asteroid belts. It could harness energy from nearby stars to power entire colonies. And, most astonishing of all, it could communicate across vast distances, sending messages through hidden energy currents that no one else could detect. One evening, while they rested on a quiet moon, Lyra looked at Cyrax. I never thought I'd be here, she said softly. Flying through hidden systems with a living ship, with you. Nor did I expect a human to awaken the ship's potential, he projected. His thoughts were calm, almost gentle. You are different. You see possibilities. You adapt. You create. My species has never encountered this quality before. Lyra smiled. Maybe that's what humans are good at. We survive by imagining the impossible and then making it real. The ship hummed in agreement, lights pulsing softly. It had chosen her just as much as she had chosen it. And in that moment, Lyra felt a deep connection, not just to the ship, but to the universe around her. Then came the challenge. While exploring a hidden star cluster, the ship detected a massive energy field blocking access to an uncharted system. No human or alien craft had passed it before. Sensors showed dangerous energy spikes and unpredictable gravitational waves. Zyrex projected concern. This field is unstable. It could tear lesser ships apart. Lyra studied the readings. Or, she said slowly, it could teach us something. Let's try. Do you understand the risks? Lyra nodded. Yes, but we've learned together so far. I trust the ship, and I trust us. The ship thrummed beneath her hands as she adjusted the controls. Zyrex projected calm guidance, showing her patterns in the energy currents. Lyra focused, feeling the ship respond to her intent. Step by step they moved through the field. Sparks of energy danced across the hull, and for a moment Lyra thought they would be thrown off course. But the ship adapted, flowing with the currents instead of resisting them. When they emerged on the other side, Lyra gasped. A breathtaking system unfolded before them. Planets with glowing oceans, moons covered in crystal forests, and stars of every color imaginable. The ship hummed softly, almost proudly, as if showing off its achievement. You have done what no human, or Zyrex, has ever done, he projected. You are a true partner. Lyra's heart raced. We did it. Together.
Yes, together, Zyrex agreed.
As they hovered above a sparkling emerald-green planet, Lyra realized the truth. Humans were not just survivors. They were explorers, inventors, problem-solvers, dreamers. And when paired with the right tools and the right companions, they could achieve the impossible. For the first time in her life, Lyra felt truly limitless. Lyra's hands rested lightly on the controls of the ship. The soft hum beneath her fingers was like a heartbeat she had come to know intimately. Beside her, Zyrex hovered in thought, calm but focused, projecting his presence into her mind. Together, they had already crossed uncharted space, unlocked hidden abilities, and revealed planets and energy fields that neither humans nor aliens had fully explored before. But today was different. Today, they were approaching the system Zyrex had long dreamed of, the Lost Star System, a place hidden behind layers of cosmic energy that even the ship had hesitated to navigate alone. This is it, Lyra whispered, her voice trembling slightly with excitement. The one you said was impossible. Yes, Zyrex projected. Few have approached it. The field is complex. Its energy can destroy or guide. You and I must be precise. Lyra nodded. We'll do it. Together. The energy field surrounding the lost system pulsed like a living wall of light. At first it seemed impenetrable, waves of energy rolling like storms, sparkling currents twisting unpredictably across the void. Sensors beeped warnings and Zyrax's thoughts projected tension. It will test us, he said. Every instinct, every choice you make will matter. But I trust you, Lyra.
Lyra took a deep breath and closed her eyes for a moment.
She felt the rhythm of the ship, the pulse, the hum, the life beneath her fingertips. She synced her thoughts with the ship's, letting it guide her, letting it respond to her intent. Here we go, she whispered. She opened her eyes and pushed forward. The ship surged. Energy sparks danced along the hull as it twisted and flowed with the currents of the field. Lyra's hands moved instinctively, adjusting controls, tapping levers, feeling each response. Zyrex projected guidance, showing her patterns in the energy currents she couldn't have seen on her own. For a moment the ship shuddered violently, and Lyra's stomach twisted. But then the hum changed. It became steady, strong, almost triumphant. The ship was moving in perfect harmony with the energy field. Step by step, they pushed through, and then, in a flash of light, they emerged. Lyra gasped. She had never seen anything so beautiful. The lost system stretched out before them like a jewel in the void. Planets glowed in colors she had no names for. Moons shimmered with crystalline forests, and rings of light twisted elegantly around distant stars. The ship pulsed softly, as if proud of what they had accomplished. Lyra's heart raced. "We did it," she whispered. "We actually did it." "Yes," Zyrax projected, his tone calm but filled with awe. "This system has been hidden for centuries. Few species have even sensed it, and yet you brought us here." Lyra smiled, feeling a warmth spread through her chest. For years she had been a small engineer on a busy spaceport, dreaming of adventure. Now she was standing on the edge of a discovery that could change everything. They began exploring the system carefully. The planets were unlike anything Lyra had seen. One had oceans that shimmered with metallic light. Another had mountains made entirely of crystal. The ship's sensors revealed energy sources hidden within the planets, resources that could power entire civilizations. Zyrax guided her to a central planet, the largest in the system. "This world is special," he projected. "It has structures, but not built by any known species. It was left here, waiting for those who could unlock its potential." Lyra's eyes widened. "Structures? Like cities?" "Not cities," Zyrax projected. "More like machines. Energy systems integrated with the planet itself. They can sustain life, control weather, and distribute energy to faraway systems." Lyra's mind raced. This was more than exploration. This was discovery that could help entire civilizations thrive. They landed carefully on the central planet, avoiding the crystalline forest that shimmered under the sunlight. The ship's sensors led them to a network of energy conduits buried beneath the surface. The patterns matched the crystals they had found before, but on a much larger scale, massive structures that hummed with potential energy, waiting to be activated. This is incredible," Lyra whispered. "We could power entire planets with this." "Yes," Zyrax projected, "but it requires balance. Improper activation could destabilize the system. We must work together." Lyra nodded. She began interfacing with the planet's energy network. Her hands moved over the controls, adjusting flows, monitoring levels, and syncing with the ship. Zyrax guided her, projecting his knowledge, showing her the subtle patterns of the alien machinery. It was slow work. Every adjustment required focus, patience, and intuition. But Lyra's creativity and human problem-solving began to shine. Where Zyrax relied on logic, she improvised solutions, combining inputs in ways his species had never considered. Hours passed. Sweat dripped from her brow and her fingers ached. But step by step, the energy network began to awaken. Lights glowed across the planet's surface, conduits pulsed with power, and a soft hum filled the air. A symphony of energy coming to life. And then, a moment that made her heart stop. The entire planet lit up. Energy flowed through the conduits, spiraling into the sky like ribbons of light. The ship pulsed in response, glowing brightly, almost like it was celebrating. Lyra stumbled back from the controls, staring in awe. "We did it. We actually did it." "Yes," Zyrax projected, a note of wonder in his thought. "You have done what even my species could not." "Humans, you are remarkable." Lyra's cheeks flushed. "We did it together. You, me, us." The ship hummed in agreement, its lights reflecting in the crystalline forests around them. For the first time, Lyra realized something profound. Humans were not just small players in the universe. They were capable of incredible things. Ingenuity, adaptability, and creativity, things Zyrax's species lacked, had made this possible. Over the next few days, they continued to explore the system. They discovered hidden moons with breathable atmospheres, planets that could support human life, and ancient energy conduits that could power entire colonies. Everywhere they went, Lyra's problem-solving and Zyrax's knowledge complemented each other perfectly. They even discovered signals, ancient messages hidden in the energy flows, left by unknown civilizations. The ship translated the patterns, showing glimpses of species long gone, civilizations that had thrived and vanished. Lyra felt awe at the scale of it all. Humans were young, but they had the potential to reach this level, if they dared to try. "You see, Lyra," Zyrax projected one evening as they floated above a glowing moon, "humans have qualities my species cannot replicate. Creativity, adaptation, courage. You make the impossible possible." Lyra smiled. "And you've shown me that with the right tools and the right friends, we can do anything."
Indeed,
Zyrax projected. "This ship, together you have changed the course of what this system can offer the galaxy." Finally, after weeks of exploration and activation, Lyra and Zyrax returned to the ship. They floated above the central planet, watching the system glow with energy, alive and thriving. The ship hummed beneath them, its lights pulsing like a heartbeat, proud and content. Lyra reached out and touched the dashboard. "We made it," she whispered. "We actually made it."
Yes, Zyrax projected.
"And this is only the beginning. Humanity has a place in the universe. You are capable of wonders my species never imagined. You are the key to the future." Lyra felt a warmth spread through her chest. She had started with 50 credits and a rusty old ship. Now she had unlocked something extraordinary, not just for herself, but for humanity. She had proven that humans could rise to challenges, explore the unknown, and achieve what others deemed impossible. The ship hummed softly, lights blinking in harmony with the stars. It was more than a machine. It was alive, aware, and proud. And Lyra, a human, had awakened it. She smiled at Zyrax, who projected a subtle glow of approval. "Ready for the next adventure?" she asked.
Always, he projected.
"Always, Lyra." The ship pulsed once, brighter than ever, and then surged forward into the stars, carrying humans, aliens, and possibilities beyond imagination. Lyra leaned back in the pilot's seat, feeling the hum beneath her fingers, and realized that she had not only found adventure, she had found her place in the universe. And as the stars stretched into light, she whispered, "Let's show them what humans can do."